All right, hi viewers, it's Kirsty here from Turmeric Australia. As you know, we have been doing this competition this week to help out our fellow Victorians that have entered their 6.5 or 6.3, I think it's called, lockdown. We decided to run a competition. As being a medium-sized business owner myself, my heart has just been going out to these people that are just having their business decimated after one closure after another and after another. So I decided to ask the community to help me out to nominate a small business that had really been doing it tough with the lockdowns. And I had a lovely lady, Mandy, nominate Joshua Robson Productions down there in Melbourne. He's got quite a story, and when she wrote her nomination, I just really wanted to help out this small business. I know it's not much, it's not trying to be a martyr or anything like that, but we've been quite blessed up here in Queensland with really only having one snap lockdown, and we haven't really had to go through the tough measures that you have. So when Mandy wrote this nomination for this wonderful company, I just felt a need to say, hey, if it can help pay towards some kind of utility bill or power or rent for a week, then here, let's see what we can do for you. So Joshua, congratulations, you were our first
Thank you so much.
nomination. Bit of a random
so
thing,
exciting.
I know.
Thank you. No, not random. I think it's very generous and very kind, and I mean, it's sort of this like human side of the world that comes out during these like hard times, you know, like people want to help people, and I think it's very generous of you to be doing what you are doing.
Thank you. And Mandy, who nominated you, the two of you, was just so beautiful. She nominated you with this wonderful post, and then I told you that you'd won the $500, and you were like, but she deserves it as well. So what a surprise me that ended up being split between the two of you.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, I know Mandy. Well, Mandy's my well, I mean, soon to be mother-in-law, and I say soon to be because I was meant to get married last year, and then again this year, and then again this year, and now we've postponed it again to late next year completely. Yeah, so I say soon to be mother-in-law because it eventually will happen one day, but who knows when that's going to be. But yeah, Mandy runs her own small business and knows about my business and what I do. In terms of sort of the arts industry, and yeah, it was very kind of her to nominate me for this.
My heart goes out to your poor fiance. Imagine trying to organise a wedding 3 times. I mean, once is enough, but 3 times. Oh.
I know. It's a nightmare.
So how have the lockdowns affected you? Like, what's been the real day-to-day effect for you?
It's been really tough. So, I mean, back to March 2020. So I'm a performer as well as a producer. So, in terms of the arts industry, I've been in the arts industry as a performer for the last 10 years on professional stages. I've toured to Brisbane, and Perth and Sydney and Melbourne. Performing, and I really found an interest in the production side as well, and started that business about 6 years ago. I put on productions in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, and I had a production set to open in Sydney, Bonnie and Clyde.
I just saw that. I read your bio. You've done a lot. You've done a lot of really cool things, and I was like, oh, this is a really cool production.
Done a couple of things, yeah. So Bonnie and Clyde was set to open in September of 2020, but I had to postpone that. So I think you wear a few sort of pre-production costs with that, but fortunately I sort of cancelled it far out enough that I hadn't actually had to wear too much of a cost, because these productions can cost in the hundreds of thousands. Yeah. So it does really impact, especially when ticket sales are your main point of sort of income. It's hard to plan for these sort of things with all these snap lockdowns. So I pushed it a whole another year. Set to open in Sydney. I was meant to start rehearsals in, what date is it today? The 18th. I was meant to start rehearsals in 5 days up in Sydney.
Oh, wow.
But obviously had to postpone that one again, and we postponed it a whole year again. So this production of Bonnie and Clyde, I started planning in 2019.
Sounds a bit like your wedding, Joshua.
Yeah, I know. So I've planned my wedding. Luckily, I really like organizing big events. So yeah, I've planned the wedding 3 times, and yeah, planning this particular production 3 times as well. So yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into it, and and a lot of people that sort of shift and change over that time, because within the arts industry, it's contract by contract.
Yeah.
And sometimes you lose some people along the way. And I had a team ready to go and a full cast ready to go for this August. And by moving it a whole nother year, some cast members will drop off and some production team will drop off. And it just
which is natural, because they still have to pay bills, don't they? They have to find work somewhere, and for a lot of them it means a complete another industry change, because once the industry shuts down, especially the entertainment industry, it's not like they can just go find another job in the same industry. They have to, find something completely different, retrain.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, in 2020, I focused my attention onto sort of online productions. So I put on a couple of online productions in that year, which we called Lights Up on the Arts. And that was sort of gathering people from around the country to put on what we're sort of doing here, but a live stream sort of Zoom performance, which was really weird because it completely shifted my sort of skill set. I had to sort of figure out how to produce a production through this, rather than it was still live, but it wasn't live in person. But it was really good for all these performers and all these people to be involved in, because they felt like they had some sort of purpose. And this was early days when there was sort of no hope in 2020, when we really didn't know what was going on. And now since then, like, the arts industry has really shifted and changed to focus stuff online. But yeah, that was early days when, even for myself, I really just getting through day to day, needed something to focus on, and doing that production and then doing a second one of that sort of got me through 2020. But yeah, then I actually luckily enough to come up to Brisbane to perform in Shrek up in Brisbane, because Brisbane was all open and available for full crowds and full audiences, which was so nice. So I was lucky enough to do that for a couple of months. But yeah, the production company sort of suffered since 2020, and it's just like getting a roll on is the hardest thing, Like, the last production that I've put on stage was in early 2019. So that's almost, it's going to be over 3 years since I've actually put a production on the stage. So it's just like you lose the momentum of reputation, you lose the momentum of just knowing the ins and outs of how it actually works, and what you remember 3 years ago may have changed.
With a blindfold on, I have to think, oh, how did I do that? Or
how does that happen again?
Remind me again. And then of course you've got the suppliers in the supply chain that may not be there to assist anymore, and it's finding a whole new crew, for want of a better word,
exactly right.
Of suppliers and talent.
Yeah, exactly right. And like you said, people shift and change careers now. So like, even my set designer for this production, like that person for this year was set to do this production, and then move state because of the circumstances. But because of work, and because of no work available in the state that he is potentially moving to, and that sort of stuff, he doesn't know whether to shift careers or whether to stay in Sydney and pick up little bits of work. It's just like people are just scrambling, because I mean, one, there's not a whole ton of art support, but two, there's not really much hope, because yes, when we come out of lockdowns, a lot of the industry goes back, a lot of the economy goes back to business as usual, but the arts industry relies on 100% capacities, basically, to get through the week to week, particularly big shows like Harry Potter and Hamilton and stuff like that, those big shows really require a full audience.
Well, listen, look,
Yeah.
I'm pleased that you're in good spirits. I'm kind of 3 years trying to make one show and 3 years to try plan a wedding. Wow.
It's a lot.
I know it's not much, but like I said, I hope the $500 helps goes towards something. Like I say, even if it helps pay the rent for a week, or maybe you make a bottle of wine for your fiance.
Yeah, I know, right?
Little bit of hope.
It definitely will. I'm really grateful, and like I mean, I've got a storage unit up in Sydney that I can't get to. I'm planning on unpacking that storage unit when I can get to Sydney and getting rid of it. But I'm paying month by month that storage unit because I can't get there to unpack it. So that money will go towards sort of the month to month costs for that. It'll probably get me a couple of months worth of rent up there in Sydney.
Then that's great. Then I'm really happy. I'm really happy that
I'm very grateful.
Go towards something. So thank you to Mandy for nominating you. Thank you for talking to me this morning. I really appreciate that. And good luck with the production. Good luck with the wedding, and stay positive.
I will. Thank you so much, Kirsty. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right. Take care. Thank you.
See ya.